thing I admire about Penrith is they're always chasing improvement. There was probably a reason tonight to not be at their best. South Sydney ravaged by injury, a couple of their better players being rested on the sidelines. Sometimes that creeps into complacency and you lack the intensity, but they just were on it from word go. They've got a good culture there that understands it. Doesn't matter who's out, we all need to play our role. I like what Blaise Talangi's developing into in terms of that left edge. Casey McLean had some beautiful touches, the ability for him one-on-one at different stages. They're set up. Their front rowers were quiet, but they were only quiet because of how good their back five were. So all the signs point in the right direction for Penrith. And the thing about Penrith is they've got a relatively easy run. They're building confidence, and you don't want to be a top 4 team playing Penrith at some stage, because hopefully for Penrith fans, they haven't used up all their gas trying to get to where they are now. That's probably the key thing that Ivan Cleary needs to control.
Well, as voted by the fans, tonight's KFC FLG MVP, and I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that it goes to the fullback, the stand-in captain, Dylan Edwards. He was having such a good time out there. He managed a spot of mid-game meditation. He makes that his secret to the turnaround in his career. Apparently a big advocate for meditation, and he looked fresh tonight.
Visualisation.
Yes,
Dylan.
Breathing.
Yes, yeah.
All of those things.
Yep. No, that's as good as someone's played. 200, nearly 300 metres, 15 tackle busts, 2 tries, kicked 5 goals. Without Nathan there, he took on the goal kicking. Did not miss. It really was a 10 out of 10 performance from Dylan, who assumed the captaincy with the absence of Nathan and Isaiah Yeo. I guess the one thing Ivan wouldn't be happy about was the error rate. There was 13 errors by the Panthers. Only 3 from Souths. Souths actually got through more sets, more completed sets than the Panthers.
But that's great, because you find something to work on, right? You can't be perfect.
I thought he was good. Now, Dylan ran in 2 tries, but the ball from Luke Garner, I thought Luke Garner was outstanding. Cleaned up a lot of things, provided that pass for Dylan. He was very good on the edge. And
he is our VB hardest working player to watch from this game. Luke Garner, just talk us through, Brandy, what you thought he did really well tonight.
He was everywhere. He cleaned up a lot of little things that probably weren't noticeable, and came up with some big plays too. So, but I thought he was outstanding. There was any number of Penrith players that could have grabbed this. Liam Henry, as we said, was worked pretty hard off the bench, but Luke Garner added a bit of class along with the hard work.
Yeah, he certainly does. His versatility as well, Brandy. He's played centre, he's played in the middle for the Panthers over the time, and he's been there for 2 or 3 years now. So, very good player, particularly this time of the year when you're more senior players, I'm going to say, or your origin reps aren't there. He stands up. He's back row tonight. Beautiful job, like you said. And his work rate as well. He just keeps going, and he's got the skill level. Yeah, he's a good back rower and very handy for the...
You call him one of the more experienced players. Put Dylan Edwards, obviously, in that category. And when you're sitting around the dressing room, you're Liam Henry or Casey McLean, Blaise Talangi, and you see those guys willing to do the first effort from the word go, it's almost the instruction to follow the suit, because, as I said before, complacency never came in. And that's what I really like, because some teams we see up and down performances, best players are out, they're rested, and they just don't bring the intensity like they should. But there's one thing you cannot... Even at the start of the year, I think Penrith were still trying to compete. They were trying to work really hard at grinding away and getting their form back. But Garner tonight, Edwards, terrific. Tip my cap to what they've been able to do tonight.
When you look back to that first 12 weeks, the player that you can really marvel at in the performance he put on tonight was Casey McLean in terms of the double. And we know that he took that start to the season hard. He's a young player, and he's one of those players coming into a champion team. And he's a really great example of someone who's been able to personally turn it around and find confidence in and around the players in this team.
And he's a 19-year-old.
Yes.
He's a boy, but he's already done so much in the game, Lara. And you're right. The edges for Penrith during that period where they won their first game, but took them another 6 games to win their second game. And in between the 2 wins that they had, there was a lot of losses. And as Cooper said, it wasn't. They weren't terrible in those losses, but there was some
just uncharacteristic. It wasn't Penrith.
There was things to learn, and what it was really was they weren't defending their errors. So they were scoring points. They still looked pretty flash with the ball, but they just weren't defending the errors that they were making.
And I'll never forget what Ivan said back then. He said that some of the young guys coming into this team are trying to live up to the legacy that they didn't create. And with that, when they were losing, a lot of pressure was coming and they were finding it very hard to really shake the losses week in, week out. If we have one concern to come out of this, Brandy, I think you'll admit you were pulling your hair out a little bit watching the second half when Brian To'o was not brought from the field. He can be a bit brave, Brian. He can tell the trainer to bugger off sometimes. But it looked like a real concern here for you.
Well, it did. Well, only because Brian came into Origin 3 with a knee injury, then was rested last week and then hobbled around for 10 minutes. But we did learn through James Hooper that it was a cramp. So, because I was wondering why he was still on the field, but obviously they knew, the medical staff knew that it wasn't a tear or it wasn't a problem other than a cramp. So, hamstring cramping, which... Have you ever had a hamstring cramp?
I don't have big enough hamstrings to get a cramp in them.
It's painful.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not good.
His hamstrings, I haven't got hamstrings either. I'm 2'2", right? But...
he had been very good up until...
he
obviously was
amazing
wanting
tonight.
to play and be a part of it.
I think Ivan's pulled a masterclass in resting a couple of his Origin players last week.
Yep. Not
backing them up. And this week swapping, doing the tag and then bringing 2 other guys back in. So... It was this play here when he busted through and went down.
This is it.
And they scored on the next play. That was a real changer in the game. He's so strong in the tackle. I mean, continues to bust tackles and get meters. What did he run for tonight? Again, like was it 200 or 200?
560 metres.
A lot of metres.
But when you get cramps, as it's been reported, like that's not an injury that will keep you out for an extended period. And hopefully it's nothing worse. But I dare say after the performance tonight, Brian To'o will be rested next week. Like it's a type of time you need to say, okay, listen, there might be some red flags in a performance in terms of injury. This team knows what it can do in September, and they need all of their best players available to get that energy back. So Brian To'o is a machine. The amount of work he gets through. So I dare say he might be on the rested list at some stage before.
Have we seen his pre-match meal? Have you seen his pre-match meal? What he has?
Cokes.
6-time Cokes.
Coca-Cola.
You had that backstage before we came on tonight.
I'm like, unbelievable what he packs in before a game, and it just burns all the energy, doesn't he? He just gets rid of it very quickly.
Do you think he'll let Ivan rest him in the Tigers game? Yeah.
He might.
He's just come off.
Well, there's Alamotti. See, Isaac Tonga will come back into the side, and then Alamotti can slot out to a wing.